everyone doing? So today I want to talk about chili and spices and all the flavouring, because this could be the thing that is really aggravating your acne, so listen up. I'm going to take things back to Ayurveda. Now it doesn't matter if you follow Ayurveda or not, just listen up because this is quite interesting, I think, just learning about it anyway. But basically in Ayurveda there's different, say, call them body types. You've got, they're called doshas, but they're basically body types. So you've got Vata, you've got Pitta, and you've got Kapha. Now each one is going to have different properties. So Vata is very cold, dry, Pitta is very hot, like fiery, and you know, a lot of heat. And then you've got Kapha, which is more kind of like oily and kind of, I don't know what the word is, but kind of not lubricated, I don't know, but you know, kind of more oily and that kind of. Anyway, with acne, obviously acne is a form of inflammation. So usually, now this isn't going to go for every single person out there, but majority of people with acne, they'll find, you know, their pitta will be raised, because pitta is heat, like more inflammation, and also it's very linked to that like skin area. So from an Ayurvedic perspective, if your pitta is high, then you want pitta pacifying foods, so things to reduce your pitta. So what will make sense is you want cooling foods, you want things to bring the heat down. Now things that are obviously going to aggravate someone's pitta are things like spices and hot foods, because it's basically putting fire on fire, which could aggravate, you know, the skin even more because you're aggravating your pitta. Now going from Ayurveda over to a traditional Chinese medicine side, if you look at one of their face maps, the area around the mouth, especially around by the lips, if you get breakouts in that area, then one thing that can trigger it is spicy foods. Now I find this really fascinating because I 100% notice that in myself. If I eat a load of spicy foods, or if I have like, you know, kind of like a curry or something, I do get breakouts around here. And interestingly enough, I used to get that before I knew about all this, and it was once I learned about this and then took spicy foods out of my diet that all of those breakouts stopped. So that's how I knew there was a correlation. It's not just because I learned about this and I had spicy food, it's like a psychological thing. Like, no, actually I learned about this, took it out of my diet, and this stopped. Now the other thing as well I find super interesting is that I really do believe in this whole like not putting fire on fire. I do think with inflammation in the body, with anything coming out the skin like acne, you know, there is, like I said, the word inflammation, heat going on inside. So I just don't think it makes sense eating a lot of spicy food, because you are literally putting fire on fire, which is, you know, in that way gonna make things worse. For me it was like a game changer, and I'm really aware of it now. Like, I do have spices here and there, but I'm very picky on what types I have. So let's talk about that quickly. So the ones that I would just be really aware of is chili. Anything with chili in, I would just say, you know, keep this whole video in mind. Other ones would be like things like paprika, even your cumins and cayenne pepper. So yeah, things like that. One that you guys might be thinking, yeah, but Ebony, you take turmeric every day. Yes, I do. So turmeric is a spice as well, so that's one that I give an exception to. One thing I will say with turmeric is you don't want to like go overdose on it. I mean, you don't want like to have loads and loads of turmeric, because then it could be problematic. Just having like the right amount. So my one shot in the morning is such a small amount, and it's, you know, fine. Now from a heat point of view, this actually can go well beyond the chilies and the spices. That can go into things like ginger, because ginger is actually heating food. If you really look into the Ayurveda side of things, then you can find that foods like onions, and there's like a whole list, I'll put them on the screen if I can find it, of pitta aggravating foods, and all of these can produce heat inside the body. Now personally I wouldn't, you know, go that extreme into it, unless you are going to go see someone and get some proper Ayurvedic advice and go completely into that lifestyle, go for it. But I think just from this video, just kind of just chatting about spices, I think, you know, just do things in realistically, one at a time. It depends where you are on your journey and how far you want to go with things, but I just think just being aware of the spices and how often you're using it. You know, if you're using spices as a flavouring for your lunch and dinner every single day, and that would be the first thing to focus on. Try and cut that back and see how it goes for your skin. Switches I've made in terms of flavouring, because I know a lot of people use spices for flavouring, and that's actually something that I find really frustrating. I don't know if you guys feel me on this, but I feel like so many like health stores, like health cafes, they make amazing food, but they put so much spices and like different flavourings like that in it because they need to make it taste better. that for me, I'm like, oh, it kind of ruins it because I don't want the spice. So I find that really frustrating. But anyway, back to the flavouring side of things. You can use things like dried herbs. I use a lot of mixed herbs, you know, parsley, basils, you know, all that kind of stuff into my food and to flavour it, and that really works well. Also, those dried herbs actually have really good health benefits, so they're really good for you. So I love doing that. I like using tahini. Actually, sometimes I do salad dressings with tahini and lemon juice and a little bit of pepper. Avocado I like to use. You do avocado dressings. But yeah, they're just some ideas that I like to use, but I guess it's all about what you guys have in your cupboards. I just think this topic around spices and chilies and heat-provoking foods and acne is just so interesting, and I really do believe there is a link, and I think it's something that a lot of us just completely forget about, and we're always focusing on, you know, the dairies and the glutens and like the key things people say to cut out. But actually, you know, think about it from the, you know, putting fire on fire point of view. This really could be the thing that is actually just aggravating your acne, because especially if your body is inflamed, that's gonna make the skin appear redder. So, you know, reducing that inflammation internally is just gonna calm that redness down, so overall it's gonna make it look a lot better. If you are still watching this and you are new to my channel, then please do come press the subscribe button, can join the team. To my side right now, I'll pop another video if you want to go check out some more from me. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Mwah. Bye.